Well, good evening, everyone. It's great to see you all tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited tonight because we have the honor of having a special guest with us tonight, and she's going to be doing a LifeVantage presentation for us. And she's very experienced, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about her background. Joanne Matteson is her name. She goes by Jo, and she's from Monument, Colorado. She's a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a friend, a lover of the Lord, and a businesswoman. And she's been married to Dave for almost 40 years, and they have three children and three grandchildren. While their kids were young, she was able to fulfill her dream of being a stay-at-home mom. Her heart revolves around her family and loving and serving others. As her children grew less dependent on her, she pursued a career in the mortgage industry. After the economic turmoil of 2008, she knew she had to get out due to unpredictability and high level of stress. She and Dave were looking for something new for the next chapter of life. However, with a predominantly unsuccessful track record in network marketing, it was not their first choice until LifeVantage came along. The opportunity to create a legacy with LifeVantage captivated both she and Dave, so they jumped in and they have never looked back. And let me tell you guys, the Joanne and her husband Dave have been in LifeVantage since the beginning, which has been pretty long now because LifeVantage became a network marketing company in 2009. So somebody tell me how many years that is now. Uh, I know, it's been a while, and we're so grateful for that. But they are really phenomenal leaders and have been for many, many years, in LifeVantage. So it's a real honor and a privilege to hear from them tonight. So we welcome everyone. We welcome you, Joe, and we welcome our guests. So thank you for joining. And Joanne, I'm going to turn the time over to you, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on your call tonight. I just so appreciate that and don't consider that lightly because I know everyone's really their lives are at stake with being able to share with people and pour my heart out to people. And so, first and foremost, I want you to hear my heart tonight and know that. This information has impacted both Dave and I and so many other people for so many years now. And just having the privilege to be friends through this opportunity and through just the relationships and privilege of being able to meet different people was how I got to meet Julie and many of you on the call. And it has just been so fun to see the friendships evolve over the years and just those relationships. You can't put a price tag on that. But I'm going to take you back 17 years for just a second. Many of you may have heard our story, but Colleen, I'm sure you haven't. And so 17 years ago, Dave and I, um, we were in a very different place. I had a mortgage company, and that was back in 2009. So after the 2008 economic crash, and Dave had spent 25 years in the commercial large heating and air conditioning industry. And we were looking at each other and saying, there has to be a better way because we were so stressed out. Obviously the real estate industry and the mortgage industry was very economy tied. And with the crash, our business, my company, it was myself and a partner, it changed literally overnight. And so I knew I needed to get out of that environment and out of that stress. I had enjoyed helping people and doing their loans for them. And I really loved all that until I didn't. And I don't know if many of you have been in that situation where you loved what you did and what you were involved with until the rules of the game suddenly changed, usually not to our own doing. And then everything is different. And Dave was working twice as hard, making half as much money. And we were just so stressed out and just on the hamster wheel. We were just surviving. And we said, if we're just surviving, how many other people are just surviving? And what are we going to do? And how are we going to pivot our lives? I mean, 17 years ago, we were 17 years younger. So we were not ready to just retire in life. We're still not, right? I don't know if you love what you do you ever really consider it work or a job? And so I can't say that I would have stayed in the mortgage industry and just loved it so much, but I did enjoy it while I was doing it. And so we were looking for a change, and we love working together as a couple. A lot of couples can't work together very successfully, but we love the opportunity to be able to work together. And like we love to travel. So now we have a place in Tennessee, and we just a week or so ago decided to come to Tennessee. So I'm on East Coast time along with many of you tonight. Um, so yeah, Saturday night, what day is today's Monday? Saturday night at about eight at night, we hopped in the car and drove for 24 hours and got here. And, we didn't have to ask anybody if we could do that. We didn't have to ask anybody how long we can stay. And we can just be here and do our work and impact lives from wherever we are in the world. And for us, we love that liberty and we love that freedom. So, what I'm going to share with you tonight really is all about creating choices for yourself, your family, your life, your legacy. And as you're hearing this information, I want you to take it in for yourself, but really more so than just yourself, I want you to think beyond yourself. How many people in your sphere of influence might be praying for a solution for their health, for their wellness? Or if they already are healthy, how many people do you know that might do marathons or triathlons or are just into fitness and being extra conscientious around their whole aging process? So think about those people in your circle, and then also think about this. Who in your life do you know that would enjoy another income stream? And quite frankly, I think that encompasses every single person, because whether people have a lot of money or don't have a lot of money or anywhere in between, having extra money, in our opinion, just gives us more options and more choices. In fact, 17 years ago, when we first embarked on this project, there was a gentleman. He was already a retired physician. Maybe many of you on here might have met him along the way. And he was very financially set, but he was able to build a huge business and generate for their household or their family or what have you over $250,000 a year in money that they didn't quote unquote need. So because they didn't need it, he had a passion to help people that have been trafficked. So all of that money went into that ministry of helping people that have been trafficked. How would it be for you, whatever you're passionate about, to have an extra $250,000 a year that you just didn't need? And so you wanted to help humanity by paying it forward and donating that money to whatever your cause is. So I want you to think about it from such a broad perspective, and know that this information has the capacity to impact people wherever they are in life, whatever their age is in life, whatever their education is in life, whatever their income stature is in life. And I know that because Dave and I have been with this company that I'm going to share with you here by the name of LifeVantage. We've been with this company since they pivoted out of the retail distribution model 17 years ago, back in 2009. So we've seen it all. LifeVantage actually is a publicly traded company. They actually started in 2003 up in Denver, Colorado, so right up the road from where we live in Monument, Colorado. And they had one flagship technology, and that technology is so revolutionary that it has the ability to impact every single person that takes it. And when Dave and I heard about this, we were introduced to an ABC primetime report that, if you haven't seen it, I really want you to go and watch it. Colleen, I'm not sure if you've seen it or everybody on here, but it lays the foundation around what we've got our hands on. And that aired. So LifeVantage starts in 2003 with one flagship revolutionary discovery of triggering your body to make its own antioxidants. Now, I'm sure that you grew up being taught to eat antioxidants, and that still is a very good thing, and I recommend it. The problem is we were never educated to the degree to know that we can't eat enough blueberries or cherries or drink enough red wine or whatever you're doing for antioxidants. We can't physically consume enough to actually impact our body to the degree that it needs to be impacted. Now, eating that way is awesome, and I highly recommend it, but we need more than what we would traditionally consume. And I actually learned when I was introduced to this technology that our cells are actually designed to make our own antioxidants. But what happens is our bodies and our cells, everything gets out of balance as we age, as we eat nutrient deficient food, as we have too much screen time, all the things, right? Too much stress in our life. We may have a health challenge that we are dealing with. So, all those things impact us internally in ways that we may not even know or realize or recognize or even feel. And so, for Dave and I, that was exactly it. 17 years ago, we were healthy. We just knew we wanted to stay healthy. And we saw that ABC primetime report. And in there, as you watch that, after this presentation, as you watch that, there too, be thinking of other people in your life that would benefit from knowing from this. Because literally, our friend said, "Hey, I just learned of something that's pretty exciting. If I send you a link, will you take a look at a primetime report and then let's talk about it?" And we said yes. And when we heard that report, we heard cancer, we heard diabetes, we heard heart disease, we heard asthma, we heard anxiety, we heard depression. We heard all these things that have impacted our families. And we thought if we can do one thing that was all natural, that wasn't going to hurt us, and we weren't on medication at the time, we still aren't on medication, but we thought if we can do this, to stem the tide of the aging process internally, that sounded like a good deal to us. Why wouldn't we do this? Because the whole message we have tonight around these technologies is activation versus supplementation. So triggering your own body to go back and behave like it was designed to when we were younger. So turning on our antioxidants, turning on our survival genes so we can actually live longer. There's a study proving that it helps us live longer. Turning on our anti-inflammatories. How many of us know people dealing with inflammation issues in the body? And turning on our master neurological antioxidant called glutathione. So for us, we got to running with this. And in 2009, what LifeVantage was doing is they were taking this off the store shelves at Vitamin Cottage and GNC because it just wasn't getting the market penetration because people thought it was a vitamin and it needed someone to tell the story. And so when Dave and I saw that and we said, they're going to pay us to tell our family and friends, and we would do that anyways. Why would we not let them pay us, right? In what world is that not crazy to not say, yes, let them send us a paycheck? And because we were actively looking to transition in our life, we said, what if? What if this is a way for us to create the life and lifestyle and income stream that gives us those choices? And that's exactly what it has done. And today the opportunity is so much better than it was back then. And so I want to just do a little dive in here and share with you a few details around what does an opportunity look like? Because if you're like Dave and I, you may have tried one of these things in your lifetime and not had any success. And if that's you, you're in the same boat that we were. That was us. That we had seen the concept in our 20s and we thought, wow, that actually makes a whole lot of sense. And we jumped in for 12 years and had little to no success because we were not taught all of the pieces of the puzzle that it takes to actually create a successful business opportunity. So if you're looking to consider monetizing this, which whoever invited you on here tonight, trust me, they want you to age gracefully and live your best life. But trust me when I tell you, they would love for you to link arms with them and go on this project, move forward with this movement, really, to helping humanity all around the world, and generating an income together and living a lifestyle that you can only dream of. You literally have the opportunity to create the lifestyle of your dreams. But what do we need to look at that would comprise that for us? There are actually six key components of a successful business. No one had taught Dave and I that. You've got to have a company behind you. You've got to have timing, trends, products, compensation, and a system. And when we started, we had some of the pieces of the puzzle, but today we have all of them. Trust me when I tell you, we wouldn't still be here 17 years later if we didn't believe in the message that we have to share with people, if we didn't believe in these products, if we didn't believe in the compensation that LifeVantage will pay you for sharing about these technologies, and if there wasn't a system and mentorship so that you can literally plug and play and have success. Now, everyone's success journey does not look the same. I will tell you that because I'm here to tell the truth. You know, we don't know what your journey is going to look like compared to ours. And there's a lot of influencing factors there. But we know if you'll follow the system that I'm going to share with you, you will have success because we've proven it for 17 years. And so, first and foremost, you've got to have an amazing company. And LifeVantage is a publicly traded company. So, if you look up here at the top left, we are pioneers in nutrigenomics. And what that means is LifeVantage is all around taking natural ingredients and creating something that impacts our gene expression. So, something that impacts our body internally that causes it to behave and restore and repair itself. And so they've gone from one flagship product that Dave and I got so excited about 17 years ago to having a whole catalog of activation products. Today, there's over 30 different products for us to enjoy and benefit from. But they're all around this whole category of biotech and nutrigenomics and having clean, natural products. Having a home-based business, what that does, in my opinion, is literally opens the door for options because you can build your business from anywhere. I've been in my home. Now I'm in my home in Tennessee. I've been in the car. I've been all around the world and able to generate business from wherever I was at that moment. LifeVantage today is in 16 and more, actually over 20 international markets around the world. So if you know people all around the world, you literally can have a global business as quickly as you want to. And so for Dave and I, we didn't know people all around the world, but people that we knew that knew people that knew people did. And so today, our business does span around the world. And when we travel internationally, we get to meet up with people in our business and meet them and enjoy time with them and do business. And our entire life is a tax write-off, legitimately. And so think about the benefits of that as well. And so LifeVantage, in addition, is in the Direct Selling Association. So we are very highly regarded in this industry. So if you're someone that's never embarked on the industry or has tried it and failed, rest assured, LifeVantage has all the key components of something of a company that you want to align yourself with. So they've also got timing on their side. For Dave and I, the other company that when we first heard about this, they had been around a long time, and that was touted to us as really good because they were stable. They were so stable. They were kind of up here in this too late phase if you go over to the top right on your screen. And so when we heard about LifeVantage, they were down here in this rough, rocky road time, the formulation and pioneering phase, because they were trying to make their mark in the wellness space. and financially they were struggling, and they knew that they needed to get the word out about this technology around activation because nobody had heard about triggering your own cells to go back and behave like they were designed to do. And so timing is huge. Have you ever missed out on something in your life? Dave and I have missed out on two other big opportunities in our life. And when we saw this, we said, we're not missing out on a third. When a company hits this critical mass um, phase, they go through a momentum phase where there's very rapid growth, and it is a frenzy and a flurry and a whole lot of fun. So LifeVantage came out of the pioneering and formulation stage, and we actually experienced one momentum phase, and we're getting ready now for a second momentum phase within LifeVantage. So you couldn't be hearing about this at any better of a time because we've been around for over 20 years, and yet we're the best kept secret. And so, what we all get to do is be the secret tellers around technology that the entire world needs and will benefit from, and that nobody else has because our products have patents on them. So we have no direct competition. So think about that from a business standpoint. Do you want competition or no competition? We have no direct competition. Yes, we can eat antioxidants, but that's not really a direct competition because we can't eat enough. So we've got the timing on our side. We've absolutely got trends on our side because who wouldn't agree with me tonight that health, wellness, anti-aging, and performance isn't top of mind for individuals today? And how many of us know someone that are doing side hustles like being an Uber driver or starting other businesses and trying other ways, getting a second job, doing an Airbnb? So I've never driven Uber, but if you look down here at the bottom right, on that trends category, I've never driven Uber, but here in Tennessee, part of this property down here is we Airbnb it because we're not here all the time. So we're on the lake. And so people rent it out, and we do that for the cash flow, right? And so that's worked out really, really well. But how many people don't have an extra property that they can Airbnb to get an income stream? And then the global direct sales industry is growing because people are looking for ways to make extra money. And the great thing about this industry is that we can do it from anywhere. There's no ceiling on how much money anybody can make. And you can help people all around the world. So we've definitely got trends on our side, especially since COVID happened. Then society as a whole has gotten much more attuned to staying healthy, being attentive to their health and wellness. So to have an activation message that is so simple to share, just watch a video and talk about turning the lights back on in each and every cell in our bodies and reversing the aging process. Who wouldn't want to do that? But in addition to just that technology, today, like I said, we've got an entire catalog of products that are cutting edge in the activation space. So when we heard about LifeVantage, they had their one flagship product called Protandem that back then had one patent and two studies and reduces that cellular rusting on average of 40% in 30 days. It is a disruptive technology if you're looking over here at this product category because nobody has the activation message, and nobody had ABC coming to their door, knocking on their door, really trying to make a mockery out of it. And actually, the reporter's oxidative stress or cellular rusting reduced 45% in just 2 weeks. I had never heard of anything that was all natural that had patents around it. Today, we've got 7 patents here in the US, 5 international patents, and over 30 peer-reviewed studies that you can go to pubmed.gov, which is our government-run repository of validated science. So think about that. It's not somebody's word of mouth or their opinion or their experience. There's 3 heart studies today, 3 cancer studies, Duchenne's muscular dystrophy study. Like you need to go there and just do your own due diligence and you will be impressed because there is so much outside research and validation around these technologies and how they will benefit our body in each and every mammal that will take them. In addition, we've got certifications because so many of us know people in collegiate level athletes or even professional athletes, and they can't just consume things. They've got to be very cautious in case they get tested. But many of our products have the NSF and the BSCG certification, which allows professional athletes to safely take them and not be at risk of losing their careers or their scholarships. So, for us to be able to represent products that we can actually say that our flagship Protandem, if you will take it, so you can't just buy it and put it on the shelf, but every single mammal that takes it, it will work in every single mammal that will take it. And reducing that cellular rusting or cellular aging on average of 40% in just 30 days and up to 70% in 120 days. That's amazing, you guys. And what people experience is all across the board. Because, like I said, Dave and I were healthy. We just didn't want to get sick. We wanted to age because we wanted to get older, but we didn't want to age and fall apart. We wanted to age and not fall apart. And that's where we are 17 years later. Neither one of us are on any pharmaceuticals today. And honestly, if you asked us to do something, our age would not be a consideration on whether or not we can do it. It doesn't even come into our mindset that we're too old to do something because we just feel so good and perform so well. And so we want that for all of humanity. But what we've also seen is those people that do have health challenges going on, in so many cases, they have the opportunity to improve and or have things seem to disappear. Now, I can't make claims that this will cure, treat, or mitigate anything, but let me tell you, these technologies are impressive. And today there's actually 3 Protandem products that all trigger different light switches or pathways in our cells that are absolutely amazing. And we've got collagen and hair care and skin care. And take a look at all the things that we've got to optimize our wellness, activating gut health. How many of you on here have heard our gut is our second brain? Our gut sometimes we really could be maybe almost our first brain, but to be able to activate our gut to heal itself, absolutely incredible product. So we've got products second to none, and we've got an income stream that LifeVantage wants to pay you for sharing about these technologies that can absolutely transform your financial landscape as it did for Dave and I. Trust me, we were so skeptical because we had had so little success in attempting this industry back several decades earlier, but we felt so led to share about this technology. It was one product when we started, and now to share about all that we've got going on, that we just couldn't say no, even though we literally were breaking our own promise. But how many of us have ever had the opportunity to do work once and be paid on it over and over and over again? Well, no one's going to ever pay me to sing, so I that wouldn't qualify for me, or act, or I might write a book one day, who knows? But I really, at this point in my life, didn't have a way to make that leveraged income. And so maybe you do, maybe you don't, but that's not a common way. And even with my mortgage company, I owned the mortgage company, but when I closed the loan, I had to go find somebody new that wanted to buy a house. They weren't buying another house the next year. And so, for the fact that LifeVantage has a comprehensive way that they want to pay each individual for sharing about these products and about this business opportunity, is just makes it so fun because how many of us have gone to a movie, gone to a restaurant, gone on vacation, gone anywhere or done anything, done an experience, and you've told a bunch of people and they have not paid you a nickel or a dime or even a penny for you promoting somebody else's business. Well, LifeVantage wants to pay you and they want to pay you handsomely. I'm not going to get into all these ways because they pay a handful of different ways. I just want you to know that they pay daily, weekly, and monthly. And there's other additional ways that we can share with you and educate you on how exactly you can tap into all the ways that LifeVantage will pay you. So as we share about these products, people just naturally, when they learn about them, they want to at least be a customer. And for you on here tonight, I would hope that you would care about your health, your wellness, your aging process to, at a minimum, activate your body to be a customer. But really, LifeVantage wants other people to know and they want to pay you for telling your friends and family. So to be a customer, you're going to be able, or to gather customers, you can make from 10 to 30%. And those bonuses are paid every day and every week. But for Dave and I, we love that income. However, for us, we knew that we don't mind working, but we didn't want to have to work forever, right? How many of us want to go on an extended vacation or maybe retire one day or maybe cut back one day? This is an amazing community and this is really our family. So I don't know that we would ever fully retire, but we might want to cut back one day. And so the fact that we are today getting paid on this information that we shared literally 17 years ago, and we have gotten paid month over month over month over month for 17 years on people that heard about this and have been ordering. I love to throw this question out. What are you still doing or using that you've used for 17 years, right? I can't tell you other than these products, anything that I've used for 17 years. And so I just know that being in the mortgage industry, that really actually less than this $516 a month was all that people needed, that the majority of the foreclosures happened. It was 400 and some odd dollars that people were short back in 2008, 2009, and they lost their homes because they didn't have that extra 400 to $500. So I love to ask also, is that a lot of money or a little bit of money? And if you need 400 some odd dollars and you don't have it, it may as well be 4,000 or 40,000, right? Doesn't matter. If you don't have it, you don't have it. And so the fact that we can help people generate that and much, much more in pretty short order, because look, the average person, and you guys on here are not average, but they're making this 516 on average a month in 6 months. And look at this, almost $1,000 extra coming in the household in an average of 9 months. How many of us on here are going to get a $965 raise in the next 9 months? Or in the next 14 months, getting a almost $3,400 a month raise. That's a lot of money. That's almost $40,000 in the next little bit over a year. And you can do it much faster than the average person, but then look at how grand it gets. Over 14,000 on average a month in just the next 37 months. And so, quite honestly, for Dave and I know you can do it faster. It took us just under 2 years to get to this rank in the income structure. And we have never looked back. We have just continued to share and share and share. So I want you to look at this average income column and say to yourself, oh my goodness, if I just had, and I don't know what that number is, but pick one of these numbers for yourself. And then let's make a game plan, because wherever that lands for you, whether it's one of these highlighted boxes or something more or something less, we want to help you achieve that to give you the financial choices and just the ability to breathe. How many people today are just not able to breathe because there's too much month at the end of the money? And we've got a solution and we've got a system for helping people that we want to share with people. I'm not telling you anything on here tonight that you couldn't absolutely tell to your friends. And all we do is we continue to do Zoom calls and share and share and share. And then we put together a specific game plan with each and every individual that wants to generate an income with this and to help those people in their sphere of influence. And what we've known now that we didn't know in the beginning is that we need to have a simple, duplicatable system. Because if I got on here and sounded like a scientist, you might say, well, this is good for her, but I can't be a scientist. Trust me, I'm not a scientist. I was a mom and helped out at the kids' school, and I got to stay home with the kids. And then as they got older, like Julie said, I got in the mortgage industry, but really my heart is around helping people. And so I'm not scientifically educated, and neither do you have to be. What you have to be is somebody that is willing to be coachable and teachable. And we've got a system to help support you in that and to coach and teach every single person that wants to generate an income from this. What we do know is if we can help you get this information in front of 15 or more people throughout the month. So think about that. It's about one every other day, or take a day or two and we can whip through the information or compile everyone together like we are here tonight on this Zoom call all together. But we want to be able to share this with a handful or two of people every single month. We want you to get educated enough so that you can talk with confidence. Because I don't know about you, if I don't know enough about something, then I'm skeptical and scared to talk about it. So we want to educate each and every person that wants to move forward on this movement with enough knowledge, and we have the trainings every single month. And LifeVantage as a corporation has large events for us to go and get educated and be a part of the culture and community. In fact, in just a couple weeks, we're going to all gather together out in Las Vegas for a big training for a Friday and a Saturday. And then obviously, we all need to be realistic in whatever those goals are, especially if they're the larger numbers, in saying that this is not get rich quick. It's going to take a couple years of time and effort consistently working together with all of the mentors that are available throughout the company, and then promoting what we've got our hands on. So for Dave and I, we've just been doing exactly this for 17 years. And in under 2 years, we were able to generate enough income that we were able to leave our positions. I got out of the mortgage industry. Now, and mind you, back then we had our flagship product Pro Tandem. So one bottle. So and back then it was $40. So you needed a lot of 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. Think about that. And then we got one piece of our amazing patented skincare line. So then we had two products. So I know for a fact that if Dave and I in under 2 years can take two little products and create a six-figure plus income in under 2 years, that today we can help you create exactly that and more, bigger, faster, so that you can live the life of your dreams and the life of choices for you and your family in whatever that looks like for you. And that's really what we want you to be able to do, just to have options. We never know what's coming around the corner, and having a safety net financially is always a wise idea. For Dave and I, in 17 years, two times we've had life crisis, and it wasn't on our calendar that day. How many of you have had life crisis and it wasn't on your calendar? But it derails us. And so for us, crisis derailed us, but it didn't financially derail us as well. And oftentimes, when you've got to go focus on whatever it is at hand that needs to be focused on, financially, we suffer. And I can tell you that when we got to focus on what needed to be done, our finances didn't suffer. They actually grew. In your professions, would that be the case? If you needed an extended time off, would your profession, your job, whatever, your career, your business, would it still be there down the road? So, so many things to contemplate and think about. But we are having the time of our life. We just love meeting people and helping people, and we don't want you to miss it. We want you to come on this journey with us. These products are amazing. The people are amazing. The compensation is amazing. The timing is amazing. Trends couldn't be better in this space. And so, thank you for letting me share tonight, Julie. I appreciate the invite to come and speak to everyone. It's good to see all of you. And so I look forward to seeing many of you, hopefully all of you in Las Vegas in a couple weeks. Dave and I won't miss it. Our cup gets full. We just get our cup filled when we go and be around everybody that's positive. Is your job positive? Maybe it is. I don't know. Is everything in life positive? Maybe, but probably not based on the conversations I have. So to go be in an environment where everything is uplifting and positive and with hope and energy all around that, and to just know that the message that we're bringing forward is impacting so many people around the world is so rewarding. So we hope you choose to come on this journey with us as well. But with that, I will quit chit-chatting because I can keep on talking.